Hey guys, how's it going? SoCal here. So just another last little tip and trick upgrade kind of video for the Dillon 650. It's really easy to kind of get distracted during reloading, and any little thing you can do to help you out with that is great. And this is an upgrade for the Dillon 650 that I like to put on pretty much all my tool heads. All my machines have them. It's a powder check system, and what this does is assure that your powder charge for any given reload is going to be within range of where you want it, and you're not going to wind up with squib loads or overcharged cases. So let's get this sucker installed. Okay, so in the box what you're going to have is 3 rods with these little kind of powder shovers. These are what contact the powder. They're kind of flat brass kind of things. And then you'll have the alarm system here, which is composed of basically a die and then this apparatus that sounds the alarm. So first thing you're going to want to do is unscrew this little metal kind of L-shaped piece of steel here, and it doesn't take much. I'm going to pull that off and the die should just fall free. We'll run this into station number 3 on our machine, maybe so it's sticking about maybe 1/3 of an inch down. We'll know in a second here. So you're going to place this rod down through a hole that's already in the tool head, like so. And then you can put that little L-shaped piece of steel back. That'll hold the alarm to the die itself. Okay, so what we want to know is you have this little piece of steel up underneath here, and you want to make sure that it's going to contact the shell plate, or actually the piece of steel that the shell plate sits on. So we're a little low, so what we need to do, you can adjust this by turning this Allen screw and then tightening that nut back up. Run it down again, and it's not pushing hard enough on it, so what we need to do is loosen up this piece of steel again, and we're going to dial the die back down a little bit farther. It'll give us some more room. Put this guy back on. Check it again, and there indeed it's actually a little too proud there, so we're going to turn this in a little bit. Loosen the screw, tighten that. That looks pretty good. It's still a little bit too long. Basically what you're trying to do is adjust it so that the way this tilts, it's going to stop right as the shell plate reaches its top position. And that's looking pretty good right there. So what we want to do is tighten this nut so that it's locked in. So to do that, I'm just going to take an Allen key, place it in this nut, and then grab a hold of this and just kind of turn them in opposite directions so they're nice and tight. Okay, so that's really all there is to that. We'll get this nut tightened up. So that stays put. All right, so now we got to adjust the ram that's going to check our powder. So what you're going to need is a case with a primer in it, so the powder doesn't go flying everywhere. Get that over into station 2, and we'll run a charge into it. And this is assuming you're already happy with the charge that you have throwing right now. We're going to drop our little gauge into this hole. Here's a better view of it. When you run the machine down, that brass little plug is going to sit on top of the powder, and see how that indexes that? The little plunger going up and down. If we do it now, you can tell that it's not adjusted to our right powder. Okay, so what we need to do, since this thing's coming up too high, we're going to have to dial it out. All right, so we made our adjustments, and here we are. It's just a little bit too short. You can see it's a little tall, or a little short rather. So we should be theoretically right there in the middle, so it indexes just right. So what we'll do is we will pull this out just a little bit. And there we go. That looks pretty close. So yeah, let me show you what happens when you end up with no powder in a case. I'll put a case on there with no powder in it. Show you what happens. See, this piece doesn't come up high enough, so it's going to tell you, hey, you got way too much in there. And then I'll intentionally overcharge a case. I'll just charge one case and then take that and pour it into the other case. So it's obviously way too full. And we'll put it in the machine and we'll get a measure on it. See how high that's poking up? You can tell obviously that's a bad situation. So in either case, overcharged or undercharged, this little device is going to tell you you're messing up. So it's definitely worth the money that you're going to spend for it. It's an invaluable tool, keep people from getting hurt, and gives you a lot more confidence. So appreciate you guys sticking with me. Thanks for watching the series. You guys know the drill. Hit that sub button, give me a thumbs up, and stick around.